This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. In 2023, well, it's longer than that, but in 2023, leading into 2024, the presidential general election year, they have the agenda of chaos. They have the agenda of spoiling the election for Joe Biden. And part of that is putting on Robert Kennedy Jr., propping up his campaign and giving him an international platform to spread more nonsense, I guess as some sort of a measure to legitimize him. But what took place earlier today did anything but. All it did was give Democrats the easy task, by the way, not a heavy lift, to point out the vile, sinister motivations of Robert Kennedy Jr., the crackpot conspiracy theories, the anti-Semitism, the racism, just everything that is questionable and vile and dangerous and damaging. He's all about it. And Stacey Plaskett, you might remember her from Donald Trump's second impeachment trial in the Senate. Brilliant. She is a non-voting member of Congress because we are not a full democracy in America. She represents, I believe, the Virgin Islands. And she took to task Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for some of the racist, anti-Semitic theories that he has proposed publicly, the ones that he's now denying. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm not an anti-Semite. I'm not a racist, even though the things that I say all point to me being racist and anti-Semitic and anti-vax. So I'm going to play this clip from Stacey Plaskett. And then, because he's denied this in other parts of the hearing, we're going to see the proof of what she's saying, that it is absolutely true, that these are vile, hurtful conspiracy theories that he is peddling, and now the Republicans have given him a platform to spread them even further. Watch this.
Why would the Republican leadership and the committee majority give a hearing and a platform to the witnesses today, specifically to Mr. Kennedy, a man who has recently claimed that COVID-19 is targeted to attack Caucasians and Black people? The people who are most immune are Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese. And before that, in his film, Medical Racism, The New Apartheid, that film stated that COVID-19 vaccines do not work for Black children because of their, quote, kick-ass kind of immune system, that hyper, superhuman, subhuman kind of language. He also said, even in Hitler's Germany, you could cross the Alps to Switzerland. You could hide in an attic like Anne Frank did, to imply Jews in Nazi Germany had more freedoms than unvaccinated Americans during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, many of my Republican colleagues across the dais will rush to cover that they have Mr. Kennedy here because they want to protect his free speech, that they do not believe in American censorship. This is not the kind of free speech that I know of, the free speech that is protected by the Constitution's First Amendment. But free speech is not an absolute. The Supreme Court has stated that. And others' free speech that is allowed, hateful, abusive rhetoric, does not need to be promoted in the halls of the people's house. This Republican charge of free speech is being used by Republican members to promote quasi-science, things such as the replacement theory that says that brown people are replacing good white Americans here in this country. Let's not remember that this country first belonged to brown Native American people. It's a rallying cry for bigotry and hate.
And in his opening statement, he was given twice the time of a normal witness because, Jim Jordan. And he denied all of this. I have never, ever indicated any anti-Semitism whatsoever, any racism whatsoever. I'm not anti-vax, he claims. Yet, here is a moment, one of maybe thousands of moments that are on video and audio, of Robert Kennedy Jr. espousing these very same things that he denies. Here he is at a COVID rally talking about that thing that she mentioned about, well, the Jews had it way better than we have it now. At least they could hide in a closet from the Nazis. That's a paraphrase, but watch this.
What we're seeing today is what I call turnkey totalitarianism. They are putting in place all of these technological mechanisms for control we've never seen before. It's been the ambition of every totalitarian state from the beginning of mankind to control every aspect of behavior, of conduct, of thought, and to obliterate dissent. None of them have been able to do it. They didn't have the technological capacity. Even in Hitler's Germany, you could cross the Alps into Switzerland. You can hide in an attic like Anne Frank did.
And after he said that, after he communicated those ideas, what appears to be on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, the Auschwitz Museum came out and had to chastise him, had to correct him, had to push back against this anti-Semitic garbage. You see, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is trading on his name. He is capitalizing on a famous name in American politics. John F. Kennedy Jr., Bobby Kennedy, Teddy Kennedy from the Senate in Massachusetts, from Massachusetts in the Senate. But really, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is the most junior of them all. It's just like Kennedy 6.0. He's like a carbon copy. You know, when you copy something and then it degrades over time, it gets worse and worse and worse to where you can barely read it. That's the version of Kennedy we get in RFK Jr. RFK Jr. Gross. Dirty tricks by Republicans. Cruelty is the point. They don't care. Look, they can voice all they want about how they eschew racism and anti-Semitism. Yet here they are platforming this garbage. Thankfully, there were some members of Congress there to push back against it. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think. You can call. Leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can absolutely, as always, email me daily@dollemore.com. The other way that we can talk about this is right in the comments. That helps to juice up the YouTube algorithm, get me, this channel and me, put in front of new, hopefully, prospective new subscribers, and you can help that way. That's fantastic. If you'd like to help in another way, maybe not more substantive, but a different way, you can support monetarily, help produce my content. Click the join button below, become a channel member for $1.99 a month. Hit that super thanks button, or even better, go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. I love you guys. I appreciate you very much. Thanks for sticking around with me today. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.